And let's start where I am here in Venice, Florida, for the Take Care of Maya civil trial. The jury has been at it, deliberating, Kelly, for over 7 hours now, I believe, starting yesterday into today. We've heard a couple of questions from them, but I have the man with all the info we need live. It's the lead attorney for the Kowalski family, Greg Anderson, who graciously stepped over as we're waiting. Everyone's here waiting, Greg, for any word from the jury. Thanks for being with me.
Sure.
Just give us a quick update on how your team is feeling, day 2 of deliberations.
We feel fairly confident. I was telling stories where, I've had situations where they came back with questions about damages and then were out for another 6 hours and came back with a defense verdict. So you really never know what they're going to do. The 2 questions so far have been oriented towards damages, which is a positive for us. We're hoping now that we'll get a verdict sometime in the next maybe 4 hours, but it could go for a long time. We could be into next week. So the other thing we have going on is if our instincts are right and they have made it past liability, then there's better than even, I would say, odds that we would check at least one of the punitive damage questions, yes. That takes us into a whole new hearing process where we would put on our expert, Steve Heath, who's president of Chris Craft Boats, who's going to testify about the amount of punitive damages and some very interesting evidence that we've been able to uncover that should affect the jury's view. And but right now it's a waiting game.
Until we see and hear from that jury again. 2 of the 7 claims qualify for punitive damages. Explain that a little bit. And then can you preview what we may be hearing that we didn't get to hear in the first phase?
As the last part of that question, not yet, okay. But you'll be the first to know.
Okay.
I'll get in touch with you and let you know when we can say more about that. Like I said yesterday, the verdict form's a bit odd.
Yeah.
I understand why Judge Carroll, who's a very careful judge, and he's a very, very intelligent judge and knowledgeable of the law, and he is trying to ensure that this case never needs to be tried again, retried, no matter what, if there's an appeal and whatever outcome. And he wanted to separate everything out as much as possible. And that way, they said, if there was a mistake at trial, which we don't think there was in any way, shape, or form, it could be rearranged on remand so that we wouldn't have to retry and go through all the cost and expense of it. Part of that was he then had individual questions about not only damages, but the entitlement to punitive damages under Florida's 2-stage punitive damages program, where first the jury is asked to decide whether or not there is a basis for punitive damages, and if they check yes, which is where they are right now, determining whether to check yes on that, then we move to the second one. Now, the 2 that he issued his order on are battery and false imprisonment. So the jury would have 2 opportunities there to check yes and tell us if they wanted to hear more. There's actually more theories. The intentional infliction of emotional distress would be a theory where they could award punitive damages, but in our original certification of the case for punitives, we did a motion for it. We didn't include that for a variety of reasons. I don't think we're really even at issue at that point on it. So the only 2 bases right now are false imprisonment and on battery. If that wasn't complex enough, within each one of those counts, there are, I think, 3 instances under the false imprisonment and 2 under the battery, right?
Right.
And so that gives the jury a number of different circumstances. Yeah.
And I have to say, based on the evidence we've been watching you present, those 2 claims seem to be your strongest, fact-wise, for the Kowalski family.
I thought the defense basically conceded that these things had happened, and so the only thing the jury would be deciding was the intent behind them. And given the true relationship between Maya Kowalski and the defendants, particularly Ms. Beatty, I feel pretty confident on those. Yeah.
Sure. Tell me, I see the Kowalski family coming and going. They're waiting with you guys. How are they feeling now at this juncture?
You know, they're upbeat. And I think they feel a lot of the pressures off of them. I know that Maya is ecstatic about the fact that she's probably not going to go back on the stand. We are contemplating whether we would put her back on the stand for punitives. She makes a wonderful impression. And one thing I can say that if you have, you may have it available, but in one of the depositions, and this was actually featured, I think, in the Take Care of Maya video, there's an excerpt in the deposition when they ask her a question. It was just a horrifying question, which kind of summarized the way Maya was treated in the litigation. And she gave an extremely emotional but eloquent statement of how this has affected her, about how it had traumatized her and wrecked her life. And we may play that. That's an aside. For the most part, they are upbeat and they're feeling confident.
You had mentioned that the stress of this litigation has really kind of resurged those symptoms that she's been going through.
Yeah, have you seen her ankles and legs?
I did notice yesterday, yes.
Yeah. It's very, very difficult on her, and I mean, that's why I was so worried for so long in the case, because we knew that she was exhibiting some more symptoms of a relapse, and we don't know with the relapses how they're going to go. I mean, are they going to be a matter of a few days, or is this going to be another half-year or year-long battle?
Exactly. Now, the jury, 6 jurors here making this decision. Can you tell us any more details about who's deliberating based on your recollection of jury selection 9 weeks ago?
Oh, well, let's see. We have 4 women, 2 men. We're still debating who the 4th person is. We think it's the gentleman on the front row that we've always called juror number 1, which is on the end. But it could be one of the ladies, too. Yeah. One of the ladies was answering a question.
Juror number 1.
I did?
Yes.
And if we win, then I'm a hero, and if we don't, I'm a dog. So I should have gone with the other guy. But these are one of, 3 dozen questions that you end up having to answer and decide.
And one more thing, are you proud to be what the judge called yesterday the longest case in Sarasota County history?
Can you believe it? I mean, no. I would prefer not to have that title at all. And I was hoping that this case, I was actually telling some friends, they've been talking about 6 to 8 weeks. I think we can get this thing over in 4 weeks. And then as it got on and on and on, it became evident there was just too much testimony. And in fact, I've left about a third of my case in my briefcase. I haven't had a chance to even put on a lot of what I still have.
Wow.
So
that says a lot about what went into this case. I do have a co-anchor, Kelly Kraft, back in studio. Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Greg says hello.
Well, you've been doing a great job.
We wish you were here with us. It's a little hot. Do you have any questions for Greg Anderson?
I just wanted to ask you, Chanley, and Greg could get in on this as well. The ankles and the legs, you two were talking about this. What did you notice that we couldn't see back here at headquarters?
Sure. So she's asking what we observed on Maya. You mentioned lesions on her ankles and legs, and she wore a beautiful dress yesterday, and we were able to see when she walked to the gallery. I was able to see.
Yeah.
Describe better for her.
Well, CRPS lesions are anywhere. Well, the short answer is there's a number of different types of lesions. The kind that Maya has are around approximately dime shape. They are red, raised, angry looking. They stay that way for a period of time. They're very itchy, very, very painful to her. And then after the course of anywhere from 4 or 5 days to weeks, they will start to recede. So what you'll see there are the ones that are slowly healing are kind of a dark or gray, more of a bruising look. The ones that, and there's a number of those, which is even more concerning because it means these have been around for a while. And so she's probably got 2 or 3 new ones, and the remainder of them are ones that have appeared over the course I think over this week and in anticipation this week. So.
Well, our thoughts with her as well, and you. Great job. I know you'll keep us updated on everything. Thank you for your time and giving us an update. We'll be on standby for any word, of course, Kelly, from the jury as they continue to deliberate here in Venice, Florida. We're gonna, I think, toss to break next.
Yeah, Chanley, but that was great. It was so great to hear from Mr. Anderson, hear his insight, his take, what he's thinking is going on back there as the jurors deliberate. Chanley, great interview on your end. We are going to take a break, like you said. We're then going to get back to Wisconsin for that eye drops murder trial for Jessica Kowalski. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Court TV, your front row seat to justice.